back at the cabin again. Sadly, only for one day. I have stuff to do back at home, but I really wanted to make a quick trip just to see how everything was holding up. As you can see, I'll give you guys a quick walk around. I might go for a little walk after and bring you guys along. But there is a good 12 inches of snow that fell. Cabin, obviously no big deal for the cabin. Yeah, I have the nice trees dripping over the cabin, which is always nice. The winter gives it a nice little cozy look. I already started a fire inside, so just so I could warm up a little bit. There's snow falling, but it's about only -2, maybe 0 or +1 during the day. So it's not super cold outside. I could work just in my sweatshirt and not freeze, so that's always nice. On this side of the cabin, you can pretty much see there's maybe out of the 12 inches, maybe a good 2 inches on the roof. And that's only because I cut off a few branches on this side, because the other side there's absolutely no snow whatsoever. So the tree's just really doing its job, pretty much what I wanted. Last year there was maybe 6 to 8 feet of snow on the ground, and I think it had maybe 10 inches on the roof. So it's really nice having just a natural shelter over my cabin. So this time, I was coming just for a short period of time. I'm not even sure if you guys could hear me because the fire is absolutely roaring in the background. When I got in here, it was 1 degree. So, I mean, it's pretty good. Insulation's not too bad. Maybe if my door wouldn't have so many holes in it, it would actually hold up some heat, but I don't really care. Yeah, the fire is just absolutely roaring in the background there. So yeah, as I was saying, this time I didn't bring anything much. I don't have like my usual drill or anything, since I'm only here for like 4 or 5 hours. So I'm not here to get a whole lot of work done. Next time though, 100% I'm bringing my sled, my skidoo, 100%. I'll do a video on there. Great little machine that I bought last year. And yeah, I'll definitely start cutting up logs and for my workshop and dragging them with the sled. So this time what I bought, or what I brought I should say, and bought, I bought this at a store. It was pretty much overpriced, but it is a tin container. It says organize on it. So I obviously thought of the cabin. Inside it has little compartments. It has this little tray thing. There was one that had a first aid symbol on it. This one just said organize. There's little, I don't know if you can see that, but there's little, it doesn't want to focus I think, but there's little compartments in here anyways, which I thought would be nice. So, you know, it's a nice little container. I like tin stuff, but it's also mouse proof and squirrel proof and such. And I don't think there was a price on here, but I think it was like over $15. I mean, way overpriced, but anyways. It's also hard kind of shopping or even making stuff for here, because you really need to just kind of think about the rodents and stuff. So plastic containers are not always the best. I have my big, what's it called? My big barrel there behind the camera that you guys don't really see just because I don't really like it. I'd like a wood barrel. I'll go buy one that's, again, over $100, which is pretty expensive, to put all my blankets and stuff in. I do have a chest that I would like to bring, which might replace the barrel. I have, you know, projects on the inside, but I also want to focus on the workshop. But keep on going. You know, always bring out water. Next up, I made a little mirror. You guys can see yourselves. But yeah, it's a little mirror. I think this was a mirror from from Michael's, I think it is. Michael's at the dollar store, honestly. And I carved out this maple log, and I sliced it about like 1.5 inches thick. And yeah, made myself a little mirror. And it's just to set the cabin, you know, sometimes it's just nice to see what you're doing sometimes, or to see what you look like. I put a smoke detector in here, just because if I start sleeping in here, this was more honestly my mom's doing, because she's like, I don't want you staying in there and suffocating if there's a fire. So she gave me a little smoke detector. I have all the hardware, which I won't be using today. I have 2 big hinges and just 1 small one. I had 3 small ones, but I used them for another project at home. I have my hinges for my little my window, what's it called? My shutter. So I have those. I have this, which is pretty exciting. I'll show you guys after. I think these honestly are from a dollar store. They don't fit on these boots, but on my other walking boots, I have little studs, little traction device to put underneath my boots. I think this was like $4 at the dollar store. They're cheap, but they work pretty good. I tried them out. I think, apart from food, that's what I brought. That's about it. So, for this little thing here, I'll give you guys some close-up shots about it. This is a little weather radio. I've been wanting one for a long time. So my girlfriend at Christmas, she bought me one. It's a little Amazon, she got it on Amazon, she says. A little weather radio. So pretty much, this thing, I've been using it at home. It's not really much use at home. But here, at least, I can have the radio and the weather radio. I'm not sure if I can get the Canadian, the weather bands for Canada. I don't think this one goes up to that many hertz. But I could definitely get like the one for the States and the coast and stuff. And usually if there's a big storm in the States, well, it usually goes up to Canada. Sadly, it's usually the case with snowstorms and rainstorms and such. But this thing, what I like about it is it has a solar panel here on top for charging. On the side, it has a crank that you can crank it, and it indicates a little light that comes on the side. You guys probably can't see that, but it's a little red light. It tells you guys it's charging. You can charge it in the back with a USB port. And there's a lithium battery, and also there's some AA batteries. So you got 5 ways of charging this thing. There is a very bright flashlight, which is nice. And there is on top a reading light, which is extremely bright for reading. But anyways, shut that off. And also for, apart from the radio and everything, I turn on the thing again, for, just an emergency feature with hopefully I won't use. But there is an SOS beacon on here, which I'll probably deafen myself in here. But so it makes a pretty loud sound and it flashes red. It is pretty loud, my ears are ringing, but obviously for emergency features, if you're stranded somewhere or you need help, it's a great feature to have. So yeah, I'll try that out later. I'll give you guys some close-ups of this thing. So I'll carry it around with me also. I won't leave it here just because I don't want it freezing. Yeah, the rest is my pretty standard stuff. I have my my gun and stuff, my bullets and my axe and stuff, which I always carry. But yeah, only brought a few things today. So yeah, let's get to it. I'll show you guys around. So here's the little radio. You have all the band options, the weather band, AM, FM, everything, all the channels. You have the little tuner. You could go off the lithium power battery that you could charge by hand or with USB. You could put it in the AAA, obviously disposable batteries. Just a nice little radio to have. It's a nice green just so you don't lose it in the leaves or anything. And it also comes with on top, on the band, a little compass, which is nice. And also it has a nice little strap that you could tie it to your pack and such. So really nice little device to have in the wilderness. Honestly, it's just a little reassurance, I guess. If something were to happen, I have the SOS beacon, which is good. I know the weather that's coming, which is also a positive. So really happy that I got it this Christmas. Another project for the future, I would like pretty much to get rid of everything that's under here, like I said before, the plastic barrel and stuff, and possibly in the corner here make everything just like one slab. of wood instead of my little table here. It's pretty practical, my little corner shelf table thing here, but I just don't really have, it's not the look I want really. So I think it would look pretty good just having like a big round circle here. At least I'd have room, to eat and put stuff. Also, with my sled, I'll bring a stool, which I think is gonna look nice. A nice wood stool. At least it's gonna fit in. It'll have a place to sit, apart from always sitting on the bed. So another issue, living off grid, not always being here. Obviously, I'd fix this problem if I would live here all the time. But there's a freaking mice always. They make nests and stuff. So it's always attempting to get rid of the damage they do. Obviously, like this isn't so bad. I was happy when I walked in. I'll just chuck this in the fire. Usually I put it outside or whatever. But still, it's always something you have to deal with, which is pretty annoying. Some people know mouse urine isn't always the nicest smell that you could experience. It's pretty annoying. Also, why I have gloves on, for this stuff. It could be toxic. Mice have disease and stuff, so you don't really want to, ingest any of this stuff. But yeah, they will literally eat through the logs, just rummage through everything, and then if it's a squirrel, it's even worse. A mice is gonna pick up whatever they can, to make a nest. But a squirrel will literally rip paint off the walls. They go absolutely insane. They'll bounce off the walls and everything. So yeah, it's not pleasant to have any. But what do you want, whether like it or not, it's us that's in their world, I guess. We're in the forest, so I have to deal with it, even if it's not super fun. There, that seems pretty good. Got rid of that. Well, on days like this when I'm not here for long, I don't do much, but I spend a whole lot of time just looking at stuff that I could do in the future. So underneath, on the other side, I would pretty much like it to be like this, just this room underneath, because this log is already, it's punky, but on the inside it's still good. I pinned the lag bolt right through it. If there's something, I could always jack this side up and switch a log out, or add another log or whatever. So that's not a huge issue. But I still would like to dig out the other side, because it's completely on the ground. The ground's up to here now in the log. Obviously, with the weight of the cabin, it started sinking a little bit, which it's not really an issue. Well, it's not an issue for me, but it is for the logs because I don't want it to rot. So I would like just to dig out a little bit. I know there's a tree there, which means there's going to be roots, but hopefully it won't be that hard to do in the spring or in the summer or wherever. And on this side, I would like to remove this thing. First of all, I want to see if the cabin is touching at all. If this is holding the cabin or whatever, and then put more logs underneath, maybe 2 more. And then yeah, I'll see what I could do with the time I have, I guess. So I just went out, put my jacket on, and started walking around, just to see if I'd have any logs to cut. And as you can see, nature kind of does its way, and have a huge tree, huge log here that fell. So that's going to be a great addition to the foundation or even a wall of the workshop. So I just kind of need to clean it up, take the bark off of it, which really isn't a big deal. You know, it's more of a hassle to debark it in the woods and then drag it by hand. So even if I buck it up right away, bring it, let's say in 8 to 10 foot lengths to the cabin right away, it's going to be a huge step forward. It's really just going to advance the whole progress. You know, and it's going to be a whole lot less hard on me. Here's my log. Clean this off here because it's pretty much, like in the previous video, pretty much debarked. Probably still have like 10% to do on the other side. But yeah, I'll be able to do at least 2-3 solid good logs in here. Should be easy enough with my saw once I could bring everything here. So what I'm thinking is bringing the sled pretty much where my footsteps are, and you could see the cabin roof just peeping over that little hill right there. So that's where the cabin is. It's not far, but carrying a 10-foot log in your arms can seem for miles and miles. Yeah, it could literally take all day. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to clear a trail, or not even, looks pretty clean. Maybe just clear that little sapling there and a log beside the sapling, and I should be pretty much good to go. I'm at a bit of an angle here because I'm in a slope, but I may be 10 feet past the debarked log. I mean, to the left there's just a really nice tree that I could use. Right in front of you guys, there's another nice one with the head broken off. So it's pretty much a dead standing tree. I could cut it up for firewood. If it's good inside, use it for, you know, a log that's already dry for a wall. Pretty much just use it for, you know, anything. Possibilities are pretty much endless. What's hard about this is choosing, you know, what trees to cut and not to cut. For example, the tree right in front of you guys, I'll try to give you guys a view of this. I could probably do like 4 logs out of this, and it's a great diameter, about 10 inches, but I really don't want to cut it down just because, you know, it's close to the cabin, it's not dead, nothing is really wrong with it, you know, the head's not broken off. So I'll try to pretty much salvage it. Obviously, I kind of want to preserve the nature on the cabin. I don't want a huge hole of just emptiness and then my cabin right in the middle. It's going to defeat the purpose kind of what I'm going for here, like an old, you know, hidden style cabin. So I just really don't want to do that. But to the left are 2 dead maples that are already bucked up, but there's about a 12 to 14 inch base on there. The tree trunk is pretty big. It's good wood. That certainly won't go to waste. So I'll also load up the sled with the skidoo and bring that to the cabin. It's going to be a whole nice, probably like a half cord, a cord of firewood in there. It's all split up, so that will not go to waste. Here's another pretty sad example. To the right are the 2 standing maples, and to the left is a huge, maybe like 24-inch diameter maple. So there's a whole lot of wood in there. I pretty much use this tree kind of like as a landmark. So, you know, in my head I just called it like a tripod because there was 3 maples growing together, and they were massive. So you'd see them for quite the distance away. But now it fell and you know, pretty much uprooted. When trees grow like that, like a fork style, the tree trunks aren't super strong, the roots aren't strong. There's just too much weight on the roots, and the wood kind of grows warped. So if there's a whole lot of wind, it pretty much just breaks. Oh, sadly that fell. There's still 2 that are alive, but they don't seem super strong. The top branches are broken and such, so they might fall too. But if I pan over to that side, you can see as it fell, pretty much took down absolutely everything in its path. It's just a huge tree. There's like a 10-inch maple or a pine that's stuck in it. And yeah, so that looks like a decent log. I'll try to get a close-up of it, go take a look. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to use that too. If I cut the massive maple pretty much halfway, it should just flop down and, you know, not stay branched in the other trees. But obviously with my luck, it's probably going to stay there, so that's going to be a whole project for another day. It looks like actually this is from another tree. I couldn't tell you guys where it's from. Just even this tree right here, there's like 4 or 5 logs in here. And then I don't know where this tree came from. But there's an uprooted pine, or I don't know what type of tree it is. I just call everything pines. But there's a tree there that's uprooted that the maple fell on. So that's going to make a whole lot of wood. And there's about like a 30-inch maple right there. That's like 200 feet tall. So there's a whole lot of trees. My issue is that I don't know how I'll get to them, or even bring them back to the cabin is a more realistic issue. Well, made it back to the cabin, finished my little scout walk. I'm, eyeballed a few trees now that I'll be able to cut down and hopefully drag to the cabin if the weather permits it. If I'll be able to make it back here in a timely manner. So yeah, it started drizzling, actually rain pretty hard, borderline of raining. It is pretty warm, as I mentioned, outside, so it's not snowing, which is weird. Mid-January, no snow, it's raining, but it's okay. Yeah, another short little video. Didn't really do much, apart from scouting and bringing in a few supplies. And yeah, so the real work's gonna start when I'll be able to bring my sled, start dragging logs, start stacking them up so they could dry slowly but surely in the back of the cabin. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video to your friends and family.